Hello, swim runners, and welcome to the 2023 Bellingham Swim Run. This is a virtual pre-race that should be able to answer most of the questions you have as we head into the weekend and Sunday's race. Big thanks to Brandon Nelson's partners, realtors, for all of their support of Swimrun and Bellingham Swimrun in particular. Also, thank you to our sponsors, San Juan Outfitters, San Juan Safaris, and Swimrun Labs, as well as Bellingham City Parks. One more group that we can't forget to thank is all of our volunteers. As you're out on course on Sunday, give them a big shout out, because without them, this race could not happen. One interesting feature of Lake Patten is we have a New Zealand mud snail that's hanging out. It is an invasive species that we're trying to not spread elsewhere. It will not hurt you in the least, but it can be very detrimental to aquatic ecosystems. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't spread any further. And so what's going to happen is at the finish of the race, there's going to be a couple buckets. You can either just step into them with your shoes and socks, or take your shoes and socks off and dunk your shoes and socks into these buckets. They are a mixture of 1-to-1 vinegar and water. Once you pull your shoes and socks out of there, we'll give you a garbage bag. Just put the shoes and socks straight into that garbage bag. Take that garbage bag home, throw it in the freezer for 24 hours, and that will take care of killing any of these little mud snails that might be on your footwear. The email that is coming out will have more in-depth information about the mud snails if you want to learn about these crazy little things. On to the mandatory equipment. Swim caps will be provided. You will have to wear the swim cap, and jersey will also be provided. So please be sure to wear those. Once you are finished with the race, we will have other bins there where those jerseys can be tossed into. This way we can reuse those year after year. All racers will be required to have a whistle. If you get in trouble, just use your whistler, and our volunteers and safety boaters will come to your aid. Shoes and footwear of some sort, goggles. For solo racers, you need to have either a swim buoy, like this new wave one shown, or a rest tube if you have it. Some sort of identifying feature that lets us know, one, that you're a solo racer and you didn't just leave your partner, and two, if you run into trouble, you can grab onto it or inflate your rest tube, and you can use that to help float you on the surface until our safety boats can get to you. Other recommended items, although not required, is a wetsuit. A lot of people have been swimming in Patten this spring without wetsuits, and if you don't want to use one, that's totally fine. Pool buoy to go between your legs and help float your legs when you have shoes on them. Again, not required, but strongly recommended. And for teams, tethers are not required, but again, I strongly recommend a tether if you're racing as a team. It can make a big difference and keep you together both on the swims and the runs. On race day, you'll be looking for the west entrance to Lake Patten. This overview, you can see that there is the restrooms and showers here, and our start finish is just below the restrooms and showers. So you can park kind of on the north side here, and as you move further west, there's a lot more parking over just off this screen if that area happens to be filled up. When you come in, you'll get registered. You'll go ahead and check in with our registration crew, and then you'll receive a timing chip, a jersey. We got some great socks for you this year, and there'll be some maps there so you can kind of review, and we can answer any questions that you might have about what's going to happen next. Course markings. As you are out on the course, there's a variety of course markings that you will see. All of the swim legs will be marked by one of the Brandon Nelson partner buoys. So this giant orange buoy that you can see here. So that's what you're looking for at the swim exits. As you come into a swim exit, that buoy, you will always go to the left of the buoy. So you'll keep the buoy on your right, you're going to go just to the left of that buoy, and that will be the actual exit. When you get out on land, there's going to be a mixture of arrows, like this one you see here, this pink arrow, that will point which way to go at intersections. And then when you're on trails, there's going to be pink flagging that will be hanging from the trees. So between the arrows and the flaggings, look for that. There are a couple places where the short course and the long course split from each other. In those locations, there will be specific signs that say short course to the left, long course to the right, or vice versa. So just make sure you follow the signage that is out there, and we will have crews out to double check that it didn't get messed with early in the morning. This is the overview for the long course. We'll zoom in a little bit more on each of the sections to kind of break it up leg by leg. So start finish again over here right by the swim beach. Your first swim is going to shoot across the lake, and this is a steep rocky exit that you're going to pop out on. As you pop out on that steep rocky exit, do kind of a little scramble, and then you're going to get up on the main trail that loops around Lake Padden. So this is a wide gravel path. So this first run is pretty much your flattest run of the entire race for the long course. You're going to loop around the west end of the lake, come back through the start-finish area, and then continue on the trail on the north side of the lake to the boat launch. Swim 2 runs from the boat launch around this eastern side of the lake down to the playground and picnic area. Again, at both of these swim exits, you will see a BNP buoy, and that buoy is going to be just to the left of where you actually want to go. It's not directly in front of where you want to go. Run 2 is your big run. It's about 5 kilometers, and as you can tell by the topographical features on here, it has a fair amount of elevation gain. You do get a nice flat start to this run, and then once you cross the creek in here, it starts climbing up. You're going to come up, cross the power lines, and then loop all the way up to the top of the Padden Trail system. You'll come down the switchbacks, cross back under the power lines, and then stay along this kind of southern border where there's a little bit more climbing before a steep descent. And as you come back into the lake, towards the lake and the ball fields, you will backtrack for a couple 100 yards back to where you got out for swim 2 and started run 2. And there will be an aid station right here. Swim 3 will shoot across about halfway down the lake. At the end of swim 3, you climb out on a really small beach, and it's just a short, like 20-yard kind of social trail that will get you back on the main Padden loop. From here, you're going to head to the east along the main Padden loop trail, and then you'll take your first right that's going to climb up and over through this little saddle. Then you get a nice downhill that is often muddy, but with the weather we've been having, probably won't be an issue. When you hit the main trail again, you're going to take a right. This is one of the spots where the short course and long course go different. So you'll see signs here that says short course left, long course to the right. Be sure to take that right, and you'll get back into the water at the same place you got out for swim 3 to start swim 4. Swim 4 is going to shoot the remainder of that south side of the lake down to the outflow. Once you get to the outflow, you're going to hop out of the water, take a hard left, and run up the hill. This is the second place where the short course and the long course diverge. So in this case, the long course will stay left, the short course will go right. So you're going to run along the main Lake Padden Loop Trail, and then you're going to take a right turn, backtrack, kind of double over yourself here for about maybe 100 yards. And then you're going to continue along this southern boundary trail, up and over, dropping in, and coming back to the outflow and fishing dock area. There will be another aid station here. This swim number 5 is a fairly short swim, and you'll come in through the reeds to get out of swim 5. So finishing out the race, Short swim towards the tennis courts. Again, a BMP buoy will be right here marking your exit. You're going to cut through the reeds, hop onto the trail, and this is a very short, fast run with a little bit of a climb here, steep descent down to the creek, and then you run back to the swim dock area or the fishing dock area for your last swim 6 that will end you at the finish of the race. All right, moving on to the short course overview. Start finishing in the same location. The short course starts not in the water, but running. And so the short course is going to run along the loop trail over to the picnic area where they'll hop in the water, short swim across, and again, there will be a BMP marker here because this exit's hard to see if you don't have some sort of marking. This is a kind of a steep dirt hill, kind of muddy exit. So you'll scramble up that, hop on the main loop trail, run to the east, and then take your first right, climbing up and over, and then coming back down to the loop trail. And again, this is where the short course and the long course deviate. So the short course is going to go left, long course is going to go right. So short course goes to the left, comes down here to end run 2, breaking off of that loop trail down a kind of steep, rocky access point. You'll then jump into get back in the water here. No diving, go feet first. It's very shallow. And then a short swim to the outflow. Run 3 takes you up the hill, kind of a gradual climb. And again, this is the second point where the short course and long course deviate. Short course will go right, long course goes left. So look for those signs. Climbing up the hill, looping around, coming back in. This is where that aid station is. Swim 3 shoots along the shoreline into the reeds. Again, a BMP buoy will be marking that exit. Short fast run 4, coming back into the water at that outflow area. And this is the longest swim for the short course, shooting to the finish line. Thanks again for joining us for the Bellingham Swim Run presented by Brandon Nelson Partners Realtors. We're excited to see you on Sunday. Please let us know if you have any questions.